to the republic for stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all.
All right, Mr. Cole, we do not have a quorum, correct?
That's correct.
All right. We're not going to take a roll call. We're going to cover some issues. We're going to let the public speak, but we'll be done pretty quickly. In talking to the executive director, we're going to try to see if we can reconvene on September 5th. We'll do a survey of the members September 5th at 11 a.m. So we're going to start doing that as soon as we get out of here to survey everyone.
This is
I noticed that we
the one chance we have a chance for the county to have an equal vote.
By the way, the county,
like
the county has a veto over everything, so they have a super equal vote, one might say. All right, so here's what we'll do. We'll open up to public comment. Richard? Well, yeah, still coming.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Good morning, Chairman Ryan, Vice Chair Furr, members of the Executive Committee and staff. I commend the Broward County Solid Waste Authority for reaching an important milestone of completing the Solid Waste Management and Recycling Master Plan. Special thanks to Todd Storty and his staff for their leadership in guiding this process. I also want to thank Chairman Mike Ryan, Vice Chair Beam Furr, the entire Executive Committee, and SCS Engineers Project Manager Daniel Deitch and his team for the many hours and tireless work you have invested so far. I am currently working on the Miami-Dade County Zero Waste Master Plan, and I'm here today to support Broward's efforts in developing and shaping comprehensive zero waste strategies, policies, programs, and infrastructure that turn our shared goals into measurable results. The opportunity ahead, Broward County is at a pivotal point. The decision made now will determine whether we set a national example for sustainable waste management or remain dependent on costly and polluting disposal methods. What true zero waste means. What we need to do is, by focusing on reduction, reuse, local resource recovery, we can lower our costs, protect public health, and build a resilient economy. True zero waste means upstream reduction, organic diversion, circular procurement. The three commitments that we should be looking at here is a binding target: reduce total waste generation 75% by 2035 with annual public
I saw
reporting.
your notes actually said 2025.
Yeah,
I like your
typo. I had to correct
either
it.
that or optimistic.
Yeah, yeah, aspirational. Composting infrastructure. Fund and launch large-scale composting facilities by 2027. Let's do it. Zero Waste Implementation Task Force. Include community and environmental experts, not just industry representatives. Why this matters? We have environmental savings, less air and water pollution, economic savings, reduced hauling and disposal costs, new well-paying jobs, and climate action, organics diversion cuts methane. And some memorable takeaways that we can take away this morning. If zero waste doesn't start with reduction, it's just business as usual. Incinerators and landfills are dead ends. Zero waste is a roadmap. Every ton we keep out of the waste stream saves money, protects health, and strengthens Broward's economy. And as a representative of Broward Clean Air, we're advocating for a cleaner, healthier, zero waste Broward County. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Jabari Baptiste.
Good morning, all. Pleasant good morning again to everyone. My name is Jabari Baptiste, and I'm a marine biologist. I'm a marine biologist, and I stand here with international experience in sustainability and environmental research, which I've spent my past couple of years doing. And in the recent past 2 years, I've been working directly with sargassum and sea turtle nesting. And it's come to my attention that there is a proposition for sargassum pyrolysis for biochar production. And I just want to stand here and just give a little bit of information on that processing of why it should be reconsidered. I just want to urge the committee that in sargassum, in our findings, we found papers that states that sargassum has concentrations of arsenic in it, and according to the EPA, we know that it is a known carcinogen which can cause cancer. And research papers such as Mammon et al. 2023 and McGillicuddy et al. 2023 can confirm such allegations. I also want to state that pyrolysis, regulated as other solid waste incineration, it does not eliminate arsenic. Rather, it adds to the ozone layers in toxic substances and if resulting, biochar is used for things such as farming and landscaping. The possibility does arise that it can contaminate our groundwater and aquifers through leaching, which is a very, very, very high factor to take into mind. And we also know that arsenic, if absorbed by crops, can pose a serious threat to wildlife and humans. Through our research and understanding, we actually saw sea turtle hatchlings come out with a color, the brown-red color of sargassum, after that sargassum has laid on the nest for a couple of days. And we could have seen that leaching power there then. So imagine what it does after.
Mr. Baptiste, your time's up. If you can I'll give you time to wrap up, and I thank you for your written comments as well.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much. So I just want to stand here to strongly recommend that we allocate resources towards understanding those leaching dynamics of sargassum and understanding how it is that we can use it without its arsenic component. And I stand here as well as a professional in my field to lend my expertise and collaborate with your board and your resiliency officer to work on projects to head these things.
Thank you, Mr. Baptiste.
Thank you.
Yeah, can I just, Jabari, I do hope you'll send us some of the good uses, the ways to try to use it. That would be helpful.
Yes.
Okay, that'd be great. Thanks.
Stephanie Joffe. But we don't have a quorum anyways.
Hi, everyone.
Morning.
Thank you for your continued hard work and dedication to the development and master plan. I appreciate the thoughtful approach reflected in many aspects of the draft and the commitment to long-term vision. While I recognize the importance of a balanced and pragmatic strategy, I am very concerned that the current prioritization of incineration over landfill runs counter to the plan's stated objective to serve as a flexible, evolving document that guides us towards a more sustainable zero-waste future. Investing in incineration infrastructure risks locking the SWA into a long-term dependency on waste generation to justify that investment and ongoing operational costs. This path could inadvertently hinder efforts to scale up diversion strategies such as composting and other emerging technologies that are essential to achieving our sustainability goals. In contrast, expanding landfill capacity, even if it temporarily necessitates out-of-county transport, provides more flexibility to adapt as new waste reduction and processing innovations become viable. Section 12.2 of the draft master plan correctly highlights the critical role of organic waste diversion. Quote, to meet the 75% state diversion goal, a top priority for the authority should be to isolate, capture, and process streams of organic material that ILA members are now collecting and may collect in the future. Focusing on organics is the fastest way to increase diversion and has shown the greatest promise in new technologies. And organic technologies are scaling throughout the U.S. and achieving operational resilience, unquote. End quote. The master plan's emphasis on organics underscores the need to avoid long-term investment that could constrain our ability to pivot toward cleaner, more adaptive solutions. While I understand that the incineration strategy may be intended as a contingency, its inclusion in the master plan, its prominent placement on today's agenda, and the request for SCS to study only the effects the health effects of modern waste energy facilities without comparison to modern landfills, suggests that the executive board views it as a viable, if not likely, path forward.
Ms. Jaffe,
To be
your time-
clear.
Your time's over. We're well over at this point. Can you please wrap up?
Oh,
Or you can
okay. I thought
submit-
we had 3 minutes.
2 minutes each for everyone.
To be clear, I'm not advocating for landfills as a long-term solution. I view them only as a temporary measure to buy time while we engage and implement truly sustainable and emerging waste technologies. Once incineration is embedded in the master plan, however, it would be difficult to reverse and could move forward without the robust public engagement a decision of this magnitude demands. Thank you.
Linda Gonzalez?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to thank all of you here for the process that you've and congratulate you on achieving the draft master plan. It's been an impressive and inspiring process really to watch. Difficult, but you've stuck with it. I'd like to just raise one more time the issue of glass recycling. I know we're all very concerned about the cost, and glass recycling is one way that we can really save taxpayer resources. As we read in the paper recently, the example of Hillsborough Beach, where they recently took out a $5 million loan for their beach renourishment. That was after 2 years previously, where they took out another $4.4 million loan for their beach renourishment. As we know from the UN Environmental Program, over 6 billion tons of sand is withdrawn from the ocean every year, and for beach renourishment and other purposes. What we're doing is taxpayers are paying multiple times because we are not uniformly recycling glass here locally. It's shipped, some cities do, but it's shipped across the state for crushing into sand and so on. So by having it done locally, we can avoid the problem of the extraction of sand, which exacerbates a situation of erosion of our beaches. It also kills the coral reefs because it smothers them, and taxpayers are also paying millions of dollars to restore our coral reefs. So I'd like to reiterate the cost savings that can be achieved from glass recycling here locally. We can use it for sandbags, for construction, and avoid the problems of sand extraction and solve our beach renourishment problem. Thank you so much again for your consideration and all the work that and dedication you've given to this process. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Also, nice editorial in the
Yes.
paper.
Yes, good job, Linda. Debbie Green.
Debbie Green, Southwest Ranches. Hi, good morning all. Again, like the others would say, greatly appreciate all the work everyone has done. In the past, the minutes for the prior meetings have always been posted. Maybe I missed them. I didn't see it this time. All I saw was a summary. In that summary, it reflects that a motion passed unanimously to maintain waste to energy as an option with preference for co-location at existing facility. The motion that was actually made, that's why I think it's important you have actually minutes and the motion that was made, along with the friendly amendment that was made and that was unanimously passed. That is not this.
Okay.
What is reflected in the summary is not that.
The minutes have been produced, so hopefully you can get a copy.
Okay,
of
but they're not listed on the,
Sure.
so I'm going to request that going forward that happens, because I mean, that's the only thing we have to hold you accountable to.
Well, you have lots to hold us accountable to.
Yes, we do. But at least the minutes is something we should, and hopefully, I believe that I'm here prior to those minutes being approved, and I don't know what's in those minutes, but hopefully.
Well, they're not going to be approved today anyway because we don't have a quorum.
Well,
so.
that's what I was thinking. Maybe as you get a quorum, I wasn't, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then I just had one other, because also in this summary, it basically, now I can't find mine. It was basically saying that the executive committee unanimously approved keeping waste to energy in the master plan. So, but by having those two things that showed up in the summary, you had one that said, which you did, but then the second where it's saying, as I said, the motion that was made is not the motion that's reflected in
So
the summary. So
we'll
I'm
take-
asking that if you do get a quorum and you're going to review those minutes to pass them, that those minutes are corrected. And if not, if they're not going to be done today, that they're corrected before the next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank
Betty.
y'all.
Appreciate it. Tammy Letterer?
Hi, I'm here to ask why food composting and food waste recycling, the two most effective means of curtailing methane, which is a favorite topic of BeamFIRST, why it's omitted from the master plan,
What's admitted?
food waste recycling and composting.
Composting's in the, all over the master.
Food?
Yes, organics. That's what organics means. Food.
Okay, it's not clear.
I think we can,
And-
You can't put every single.
What about, well, you have waste to energy all over there. That's what I see. It's like blinding me. But to make it clear that it's food waste composting and food waste recycling, which the University of Pennsylvania recently acclaimed to be the most effective means of combating methane gas, it should be front and center
it is front and
for
center.
lay
It's-
people.
yeah, it is. It's,
It-
okay, if you missed it, then we'll be happy to.
I'd
highlight the spot.
like you to tell me what pages
Perfect.
it's on.
Sure.
Number one,
No,
number-
we'll get you that information so it's clear to you.
okay. Number two, a zero waste lens. What is a zero waste lens? Why isn't it just true zero waste according to the Zero Waste International Alliance? Number three, why is there nothing in there about education on the perils of plastics, microplastics, which are now a leading health cause? The failure to be able to recycle plastic, that myth of plastic recycling, has become a global problem of epidemic proportions. And they also emit and release PFAS or PFAS. So especially from the landfill nearby where I live. So which you guys are expanding. So
No, we're not. I understand. I've read your commentary. We're
No,
not
no.
expanding it.
you're raising the height of the dump. But
No.
listen, it's my time. I'd like to
No,
talk.
I'm going to extend your time, but I want to be clear.
Let me finish.
Sure.
You're not raising the height 100 feet? Now, you can answer that after I'm done. You're raising the height 100 feet, and the landfills are known, the landfills are known to release PFAS, highly toxic carcinogens. So, it's not being addressed as far as consumer education. Why aren't you detailing a specific program on recommending to people alternatives to plastic?
Okay. So stay right there. The Solid Waste Authority did not have a vote on expanding Monarch Hill. We opposed it. We put together a letter and opposed it. It was the county. They're not that. So when you say
They're here today.
I know, but when you say you,
Okay.
I want to help you to make sure we understand everybody's role.
Okay.
And education is a huge component of this. Organic and food composting, a huge component of this. It is the primary focus of the mainstream diversion we need to achieve.
It's not clear.
We're going to get you the citations for it, okay?
It's 1,300 pages.
No, we're going to get you.
And it's not clear. Certainly, you could have outlined that.
It's in there. We'll be happy to get you
Okay.
that, Tammy.
All right.
And you-
I hope so.
Absolutely. Nice to hear from you. Jim Lasky.
Well, you need a traffic director to see which way this discussion is going. Jim Blasky, Southwest Ranches, Florida. Okay, so we all covered the food in the yard waste and the composting effort. 32,000 acres just north of here. It needs to go up 5 feet to help the farmers. We all want to eat, don't we? Okay, why isn't that like a big issue right now? Why can't we be starting that right now? I believe it's Exxon Oil that just came up with a sewage digester somewhere in the northern part of the United States. Judy Paul said years ago in Davie that there was a guy running a farm out there okay, taking manure and all that sort of stuff and building energy out of it. Well, why can't we do with our sewage now? I mean, this is all proven technologies. If it's as old as Davy is in the waste business. And the other thing I like to bring up is the conflict of interest with waste management suddenly going after municipal contractors contracts as a advisory capacity. Well, they're already a trustee of this board, okay, and they're also one of the biggest waste haulers probably in the world, but surely in the United States. It seems like such a conflict of interest to having somebody, okay, that has such a vested financial interest in garbage to be advising other people how to get to zero waste. Don't you want an independent board, independent advisory that can pick on all the technologies that for the whole time we've been doing this discussion, Waste Management was already doing? Yet they never come up here and tell us about the advancements in robotics and how their garbage is being sorted within their own facilities. It's finally that they're coming to South Dade down here with this state-of-the-art, supposedly robotic sorting facility, which they make plenty of money under an LLC in the commodity trading business. What in the heck's going on? If you don't see the reality of that, why would you need an LLC to take your trading profits and keep them confidential?
So
You guys should be scratching your head. Anyway, so much for my 2 cents.
Thank you, Jim. Nice to see you again. Okay, that concludes public comment. We do not have a quorum. What I'm going to ask the executive director to do next time that we don't have a quorum is make it clear to all the members so that folks aren't driving across county. So that if we're not going to have a quorum, it's clear. At least you can appear online to listen to what's going on rather than come. I appreciate those that have come a long distance to be here. Second, we're going to target September 5th at 11 a.m. We'll put the word out and see what that looks like and see if we can get a quorum for September 5th at 11 a.m. Rather than really, frankly, going through the updates with so few of the members here and online, I note that Josh Rydell is on, Member Rydell is on, and Member Solomon's on. Thank you for being available. So I'll turn to the vice chair, but I think that that's probably the best plan
I
at this
think
point.
that's all we need to say.
All right. In the meantime, there were written
Also on
comments.
as well.
Okay, fantastic. Member Matea Bowen's on as well. The written comments, let's make sure we distribute those to all of the members. Please get for Tammy the citations for where food waste is identified in the master plan so that we can, and I want to make clear from the outset, from the very first meeting, it's been a huge priority. We've taken commentary from those that are doing it in the industry, from those that are doing it in the community, in schools. It was a driving force for having the school board also join us because of their educational component and their view, and they have joined us and they are focused on this as well. So please be sure, and we'll talk about it after we end this meeting. I'll talk to you about it, but I do need to emphasize that food waste has been a huge priority from the beginning. So I just want you to know that. Yeah.
I do want to acknowledge SCS did get everything in on time, and thank them for the draft that we've all had a chance to look at. Hopefully for everybody online and in the public, that they have a chance to take a good hard look at that now. There are parts that the county feels we still need to work on, particularly the financing part of it. But I do want to acknowledge, you said you would have it in August. It's August, you did it, thank you. And yeah. And I say that because it's a huge milestone and it's one that for us, we should be celebrating. I actually was looking forward to celebrating today because it has taken us a long time to get here. And so it is a pretty incredible document in its entirety. It gives us a lot of things to work with, a lot of good blueprint for the future. And I just wanted to thank you for that. And we'll
thank you to SCS. I don't think we're anywhere near celebrating. We've just got to another step until we can get to real diversion from the current trash system into recycling and reusing till we can change behavior at the grocery store and where we buy and what we do. When we can change behavior at the end of our driveways and where we work, where we can change behavior in our schools and our industry, and it actually has some identifiable metrics that show we're making it, then I'll be ready to celebrate. We've got to keep everyone together. We got to keep focusing on this. I'm grateful for the process. It's unfortunate that we're not going to be able to have the meeting today, but we'll continue. And I would just note, of all the meetings we've had, it's been incredibly rare not to have a quorum.
Yeah.
We've been meeting monthly at the early stages. It was every 2 weeks. And it just happens that it's Florida League of Cities, so a lot of the members, it's not a lack of interest. I know the members were going to try to be on, but they had conflicting schedules. And so it's perhaps a product of, continuing to be aggressive and not wanting to ever cancel a meeting and hoping that we'll have it. But we'll focus on September 5th at 11 a.m. We'll put that up. Minutes will be posted as was requested by Debbie. We'll make sure we have that. In addition, for those who have written comments, I want you to make sure you take Mr. Storty's email address. Those who have questions, those who have concerns, please email us. You don't have to wait for a meeting to get answers to questions like where is food waste in the master plan. We'll help you get it. Well, I'm just saying, we'll talk to you, Tammy, afterwards. We'll get it straight. So you have a line of connection to the Solid Waste Authority so you can get answers. I want you to, okay? Is that fair? I can't hear you, but I'll talk to you after the meeting. All right.
This is a great location to have meetings.
I agree.
I did want to thank.
Yes.
I just want to thank Todd for speaking at the Climate Change Task Force yesterday. Very good presentation. And they did bring up one thing that I think, and I just want to throw this to SES. I think front and center of all of what we're trying to do is reduce waste. But the calculation, I don't know how the calculation works we know that we have like 5 million tons right now. When you reduce that and you're still trying to get to 75%, it makes it harder to get to that 75%. So I think we need to figure out our own algorithm there for where we start and what our baseline is for when we start to reduce it to make sure that we get to that 75%. The city manager from Oakland Park brought this up yesterday. Very good point. Hadn't thought of it before. But our own success would be detrimental to getting to 75%. So we need, I don't know if SES knows of other communities that know how to calculate that, but if you do, I'd love to hear it.
Well, let's hope we get to a point where that's the hand wringing we have to do, where we've reduced so much that we're confused. Right now, we're at 38%. We know that that's not working, so we don't need to do much.
I have a related question for SES, and that is, we have 3 cities that aren't members of the SWA, and my question is, when we're looking at volume and everything else that went into this master plan, are we looking, the 28 cities are the ones that delivered all of the data. So when we're looking at the future, it was unclear to me whether we had considered the additional volume from those 3 cities in the event that they join, and if that would impact things. I don't know.
Well, we could talk about we have no quorum, so there's no real sunshine issue. We don't even have a quorum right now. So what we can do is, if you guys want to have a discussion about that, we can present at the next meeting, or we're going to let everyone go, quite frankly. So we have a quorum.
Okay.
So
Right, that's fine.
Unless there's really business to be done.
I do have a question. At the last meeting, we discussed from an education standpoint how we want to approach that, and the topic of focus groups came up. And my understanding was that from the last meeting that we had decided that we would forego doing focus groups for the time being. I just want to clarify that because I saw the agenda for, I'm on that subcommittee, and I saw the agenda for that, and it was to continue the process of working on focus groups. And I wanted to make sure that the subcommittee and the committee was aligned.
Okay.
So
We'll have to make sure. I think the education committee did not have a quorum either.
that's correct. So we didn't meet, but we did produce an agenda. So that's what I was looking at. And so when we have the next meeting, I think we should be able to reflect that that. And you know, Debbie spoke about the agenda for this meeting. I didn't see a reflection of that decision because I went back. I was like, wait a minute, did I just not see that right? I went back. I didn't see that reflected in our minutes from the last executive committee either. So if we can look at that.
Right. And we need to get the minutes out sooner than this week. I mean, we have a month between meetings. So with the AI generation and our work, we need to do that so that all the members and the public have an opportunity to offer corrections. All right. I want to thank everybody for being here. It's a big crowd today. We'll aim for September 5th. Taken by whom? I'm not available. She's asking if you have minutes. Yes. Yeah.